every week. This is episode 89. You get me? We'll start this over again. Can you give me just a tiny bit more in my ears? There you go. I am on, let me find out. I'm on pink. Whatever that is. Testing 1, 2. I don't hear anything now. How come I'm not getting anything? Let's go to a different headset. Why not, huh?
I feel like we do this every week,
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say I can hear you.
You would think. There you go.
Now you can hear yourself.
You would think that we had a method,
To the madness.
but
we just went through it.
we just went through the method, man.
We went through it. Yeah.
This is episode 89 of Mastering Local Marketing. Before we get started, I want to ask a question. We're talking with Matt Hansen. He is the digital marketing guru in the Midwest here. He's a professor here at PNW, where we are on the campus here at Purdue Northwest. And we talk to you, local, small, and medium-sized businesses, about marketing, especially digital marketing, and what your options are and how you could do it. But it just occurred to me that many of you that are listening, even if you're in a marketing department for, like, say, a regional bank, or if you have a one-person stationery shop, if that exists still, and you're working a lot just to keep up. And I just have a general question of Matt Hansen, who pretty much works more than just about anybody I know. What was your day like yesterday?
It started at 8 a.m., finished at 10:30.
What'd you do at 8 a.m.?
Somehow, some way, I put way too many things on my calendar yesterday, so we'll just leave it at that. And, my wife woke up at 10:30 and she goes, "When did you get home?" And I was like, "Well, now," right? So, yesterday was a little bit of a rough one.
I think you talked to some high schoolers, right?
Yep.
I had high schoolers on Tuesday of this week.
Yep.
We're recording near the end of 2025. And, those things pull at you. But I guess what I'm trying to point out is that the small and medium-sized business owner or marketing person is pulled in a lot of directions. What can you say to them about prioritizing at least a little bit of time and a little bit of attention to local marketing?
I think the biggest thing that they have to realize is that everything throughout the day is going to pull you in a variety of different directions. And I know today at some point we're going to talk about kind of saying no to certain things and that you've got to prioritize where you're going to go. But when it comes to local marketing, you can't push it off. I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, and many times the conversation I have with them is, "Oh, I just can't grow," or I'm struggling, and I'll start asking all the questions about the time and effort and things that they're doing. And many times they're focusing on the wrong things, or they're not doing it, or they're not putting the effort into it. So, you say that I do a lot of things. I feel like everybody I talk to says that I'm always going, always running. But at the university, my job is external engagement. So I always say that I'm not supposed to be sitting in an office. I'm supposed to be going out there and doing things. So that's my mindset. But what I'm saying here is, when I talk to entrepreneurs, people that are running small businesses, it's you choose the amount of time that you're going to put into something. You have to kind of look at all of that time and understand that if I'm doing a task, it's got to be valuable. And if it's not valuable, why are we doing it? But from a marketing standpoint, too many people just kind of ignore it when you could be growing and taking your business to that next step. So I think everybody's got a $10 million business in them, and most people will probably go, "Oh no, yeah, there's a $10 million business in pretty much everybody. It's just how much you want to work toward it."
What do you mean there's a $10 million business in everybody?
I think everybody has an idea that you can take and grow to $10 million business and sell it off, no problem. I think, people will say, "Oh, I'm not, that creative. I don't have those ideas." I mean, I've seen $10 million businesses that are the most basic of basic things that are possible out there. And they've just put the time and effort into growing it. And, it's amazing, right? Looking at a couple of them right now, I'm not going to share them on air, but looking at a couple different ideas right now that I've got other people that we're working on advising, but, just simple, absolutely simple ideas that you can just generate. One of the things last night that I was talking with one person, and, she goes to farmers markets and she's basically just selling a simple product that she made for us last night. And she said she paid for a pool going to farmers markets this summer, creating a product that you just go to the grocery store and buy and put it all together. And there you go. So, to say that you don't have the opportunity to kind of do a side hustle or, a real business or anything like that can generate real money, you want to pay for a pool next year, go do this farmer's market thing that she was doing, and there you go.
So, for the most part, we're talking to the small and medium-sized business owner or marketing department, regional bank, car dealership, whatever it might be. But you're talking a different type of business, a scalable, innovative business. Is there a distinct line?
No, you're limited by how much you want to do, right? So if I'm an marketing agency, or if I'm selling a certain product in a regional location, right? So you've come up with something. I mean, I'm working with a bunch of different businesses right now, but let's say that you come up with something that is a consumer product. It's a new idea that you've developed, and you've got a prototype in your building, and maybe you get, let's call it 10,000 units that you've got in your garage.
MVPs,
right? So what typically happens is most people will sit and go, all right, how do I sell these? How do I sell these out of my garage, out of my trunk? How do I sell them to local customers? And every time I sit down with them, I'm like, why are you limiting yourself to local customers? Right? Like, you've got an entire internet that allows you access to everybody. Now, I get it that you might not want to ship across countries and things like that, but like, there are 48 states that are all connected here that you can ship to relatively easy, and you're limiting yourself to one or two counties in one of those states. Like, why are you doing that? Like, test it, throw it out there, right? So I've talked with some seasonal type products recently, and they're just like, well, we sell it here and we sell it there in these, local stores and all this. And I'm going, that's great. Seasonal product during the summer. I said, but it's still warm in the South. Why aren't you selling down there right now? And you kind of get that confused look. And I build a website, build an e-com, right? Like, start some ads, start targeting those people, and start selling now. I mean, it's 40 degrees where we're at right now, but it may be 70, 80 degrees down in Florida right now. Sell to Florida, because that's what's going on right now. So again, how much time do you want to put into something? How much effort you want to put into it? But I don't know. That's just me.
Well, I mean, I think that if people follow us in here to episode 89, they're certainly following you about the marketing and the various techniques. I mean, I've gotten basically so much out of this. I can't tell you, I mean, this is an education and has changed my companies over. And I'm like, man, we need to do this. We need to do that. But on the flip side, I think what I've learned more, and I would like other people to, you can comment. You can just email me personally at Jed. Well, I'm not giving that one out. Jed at WJOB1230.com. And just, say, hey, man, I think you're right about this or you're right about that. But the thing, more than anything else in terms of time and time management, you've taught, hey, we need to do this, or we need to email that, or we're going to do this on your website, or all of those proactive things. But the biggest part is I have learned what not to do and how to narrow down to just a couple of things. And I just wonder if there are small to medium sized business owners and marketing departments that could benefit from that. Like, how do you winnow down to something that's important? You bring up a zillion ideas
Right.
for us, but how do we know where we need to go with our time and our resources?
I think you just need to look at what you're good at. So whether it's your business here, you're good at developing content, you're good at, really understanding the core market and things that are happening. If you own a small business, you obviously understand your customers, their needs, those types of things. But there are some people that are really good at social media. Okay, great. I love those types of people.
That's you.
I don't believe that I'm great at social media. I'm going to be honest. I understand it. I don't enjoy doing it. Right? Like, I'm not a social media owned kind of person. I would rather pay to put my message out there in front of people and know that I'm getting it out there.
LAZY.
Yeah, exactly. I'm again, the people that work with me know that if I want to do something, I want to do it now. I don't want to wait. So I'm an only child, so maybe that's probably why. The fact that I want it now, I don't want to wait for it. But that's just, I'm better in the paid placement of getting a message out and moving that forward. Some people are really good at email, right? Some people are really good at websites and building content. Some people are really great at building landing pages. Some people are good at negotiations, right? So some people don't want to talk to people. Let's be honest, right? They're introverted. I always say I'm the extroverted introvert, right? So if you could put me in a room and I don't have to talk to people, I'll do that. But my job is external engagement. It's what I do. So I have to go out there and have conversations, and that's fine.
I'm gonna follow with this. Do you mind?
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't know where we're going today, but
we have a complete outline, so we'll just push it back one episode. Okay. So I'm just going to tell you the things that have come out of this podcast that have affected my sports network, which is increasingly not becoming my sports network, but kind of a group project, and my audio radio company. And our producer right now is Adriana Alvarez. And believe it or not, I don't know how this happened, but a 21-year-old is basically running it. We just kind of stumbled into some major talent there. But there's something that Sam Michael, the head of the sports streaming company, quoted to me yesterday. And then I realized that what you sell, what you promote, is making a difference. And we had a long discussion about a project that I want to do and he doesn't want to do. You probably know what it is. And he turns to me. He goes, I'm like, well, why not? Why can't we do this? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, because here's why. Because I listen to your podcast. And Matt Hansen says, only do what excites you. Okay. And I was like, I had no argument for that. I'm like, if this project does not excite you, I'm okay with that. We are done talking about it. But it was grabbing that concept out of this podcast that affected the direction that we're going to go. Mm-hmm. That concept of only do what excites you, it's kind of hard when you're running a business and you got to do the accounting and you got to do the HR and you got to make it, you got to clean up and all that stuff. But if it's within a framework of doing something that excites you, it kind of contributes to that. I'm sure you've heard that comment about only do what excites you has been echoed by others.
In a roundabout way, yes. I mean, I say that all the time, that I'm not working on anything that bores me, just because it's work.
Because you're an only child.
I'm an only child, yeah. But I have a half brother. Only child, you get it. But anyway, I will not take on a project that does not excite me. If somebody if somebody contacts me and wants to work with me on something, I'll ask a million questions, which is, obviously you've gone through that process, but I don't want to work on something that's going to bore me because then it becomes work. And if you're sitting there and you're talking about your business and you're working on things that bore you, why are you doing that? Like you obviously, whether it's, you mentioned accounting, right? Like I absolutely hate doing accounting work. I understand it. I can do it, but I hate it. Like there's nothing about it. And it's funny, I've talked with accountants and they'll say to me, like, how do you enjoy marketing? It changes all the time. You're constantly having to learn new things. And I said, that's the best part of it, right? So if you don't love something and you're doing it, you have to ask the question, why am I doing this? Like I should be focused on the things that are passionate. Like when I wake up in the morning, I should be excited to go do the things that are helping my business. And if I'm not, then you got to look in the mirror and go, why am I doing this? Like I've created another job for myself, not a passion. I started the business because I had a passion for something, but now I'm creating a job for myself. I'm doing, the hiring. I'm doing accounting. I'm having to clean, I have to vacuum, different things, right? Like I've created another job instead of something that I want to do. And if you're going to do that, just go get a job at that point because you're going to hate what you're doing. If you're not passionate about what you wake up for in the morning, just stop. Just stop it. So when you wake up, you look at your day and you go, okay, what am I doing today? What are the fun things? Set time for that, and then find somebody else to do the other stuff. I don't know. That's kind of the direction that I've taken with my career. It's the direction I've taken with my businesses. If you're not having fun, don't do it.
So there's another side to that.
Okay.
And this goes for the owner, for the marketer. Yes, I think you can, if you start thinking in terms of that, what Matt is a proponent of, it can affect the way that you think. And you're like, man, I just want to do the things that excite me. But there's a balance to this. Mm-hmm. You also have to be good at it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I love to write poetry, believe it or not. I'm probably kind of awful at it, right? I'm not going to make any money on it, but I'm not going to go there and just read and write poetry, although I have for segments of my life. But it's just like a hobby or something, right? So when you're looking at your work life or your marketing department or your business, you got to only do what excites you. Remember that. Sam Michael quoted it to me, and I'm like, aha. And then the second part is, you said it already on this podcast, do what you're good at. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to find both of those together.
Not really. I mean, if you're good at something, it means you've spent a lot of time doing it. And either it comes naturally to you or you've spent, what do they say, the 10,000 hours doing something. If you're doing something for that amount of time, or you're really gifted at doing something, odds are you enjoy doing it, right? You've put the time or the effort or the talent just comes naturally to you. You say you like to write poetry. You've invited me to go golfing many times, and we have yet to go golfing. Why? Because I stink at golf. Right, I would love to be good at golf.
Is that why you're pushing me off on
I
that?
would love to go golfing with you.
Is it a time thing?
No,
you don't want to be embarrassed.
It's just I am not the same golfer as you.
You were a really good baseball player.
But that's the thing, right? Like, baseball came naturally to me, and I could place a baseball anywhere on that field at any given time. You just give me a nice little 3-foot by 3-foot box, and I'll place it right in that spot every single time. Golf gets into my head, right? Like, I overthink everything. When I don't think, I hit a ball straight as can be, and people are like, wow, right? But it gets into my head, and I overthink everything. Whereas baseball was I just went up there and did it. So what I'm saying is, from a business perspective, in things that you're doing, and the talents that you have, and the passions that you have, you do them because you enjoy them, and you just do them. If you're overthinking things, me with accounting, I'm doing it, I hate it because I'm questioning everything that I'm doing instead of just doing it, right? So that's the problem, right? Like, understand that you have passions, that you have things that you're expert in. Everybody always says, oh, you're an expert in marketing. And I'm always saying, I know marketing because I've done it for so long, but there are still things to learn, right? So people come to me for expertise, but I still say to this day that I'm still learning. And it's the same thing with you out there who are listening. You're still learning your craft, your business, your customers, all of these things. So I don't know.
So let's apply this finally to sum up. Let's apply it to marketing.
Mhm.
We're at episode 89. You probably presented 50 ideas, 50 directions to go. You have, given suggestions on how to make yourself better at these things. So when you take this philosophy of only do what excites you and you go where you're good at it, how do you apply that to mastering local marketing?
I'll say it this morning. I was talking to somebody about their email, and they were complaining. Oh, I hate our email system. I hate this, da 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 da, all these things. Okay, so obviously they don't like doing it. They do it internally. It's a pain in the butt. They don't want to do it anymore. They would love for somebody to take that off their hands. Okay, great. Push that off, right? They asked me, we need to have a conversation about marketing. Okay, very first thing is going to be email. What's the problem, right? Had conversations last night. Different people. One of the people that I was talking to is a content creator, uses AI to create content, short snippets, different things. I said there is a variety of people out there that you could reach out to and do different things. I'm not good at creating video content, right? Like I joke that, perfect example last night. They wanted to take pictures of everyone that was finishing up this incubator program. And I joked, they handed me the phone to take the picture, and I'm like, oh no. And they started laughing, like, what's the problem? I go, well, my wife will tell you I'm the worst picture taker in the world. So I'm going to try and do this, but you might want to guide me. And they looked at me and they went, how can you be a horrible picture taker being in marketing? I said, well, I don't take the pictures when we're doing projects. I have people that will take the pictures for me and provide that to me, right? So knowing your limitations is one thing, but I'm not good at certain things. I'm not going to go take photos for a marketing project. If I'm bad at doing email, I'm not going to take that on. If I'm bad at speaking, I'm not going to start a podcast. I may be bad at speaking, who knows? But if I'm an introvert, I'm not going to do daily video snippets on social, right? There are all these things that you have to realize. There are people that are great at certain things, and there are people that aren't great at certain things. So know what you're good at, utilize that, but the things that you're bad at, figure out an alternative way to do it.
He's Matt Hansen. This was not a plan. This is the episode 89 of Mastering Local Marketing. Please go to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You also could go to WJOB 1230, and you can watch the video of this. And as many people have said, it looks sometimes like it's bookends. We actually have our legs crossed. We're both wearing the same kind of quarter zip. So if you just want to see two studly Midwestern dudes talking about marketing, go to WJOB 1230 and find it. Matt, thanks a lot.
Sounds good.
Adriana Alvarez, the head of the WJOB Podcast Network and our producer right now, thank you. And until next time, thank you, and we'll see you later. episode 89 of Mastering Local Marketing. You can watch us anytime at WJOB 1230 on YouTube, and then you can get us on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts. It's called Mastering Local Marketing. In this episode, we're exposing one of the biggest issues holding small business back: cloning. From identical social posts and themed taglines to lookalike ads that blend into the feed, too many businesses are copying each other instead of standing out. Matt is going to explain why safe marketing is actually the riskiest strategy of all and how originality creates instant attention, loyalty, and higher conversion. You'll learn how to uncover your unique marketing DNA, use storytelling to separate your brand, and take creative risks that make customers remember you. If your ads feel flat, this episode will help you break free from the clone factory and start creating marketing that's unmistakably you. Matt Hansen, how are you?
I'm good. So I'm laughing over here because I'm sitting here thinking about one of the things that I'm going through right now. So I run the digital marketing competition here at P&W, and this is a global competition where college students submit all of these presentations, and I'm working on all of these submissions. Came in. We had roughly about 34 hours of content that had come in, and we're going through it with the judges. And I say this every single year or every single semester when we're going through this, that they're presenting an 8-minute marketing presentation to the client. And I say this to them all the time. I'm like, listen, we get 34 hours of content, and you're sticking to a very safe presentation. You go through a little bit of research. You talk a little bit about how the website needs to be updated. You look at their email. You say, we're going to do some influencers. We're going to do some paid social. And then here's how we're going to evaluate it. And it's rinse and repeat. We see it over and over and over. And it kind of reminds me of local marketing, how different different businesses will just see something they like, they recreate it, they clone it, and then they run it, and it all kind of looks the same, right? So we're at, we have over I think it was 250 plus presentations that came in, and we have to get it down to 6 finalists. And what I say to all of them every single year is, you have to stand out. Do one thing that makes you stand out. If it's four of them are all the same, but then there are 6 of them that had one thing that drastically just separated them from the others. And that's what ends up happening every year. So I started thinking about this last night, and I thought, well, let's bring this into local marketing, and we're going to talk about some different industries and some people that kind of stand out. So that's where I wanted to go with this. I'm telling you, everyone clones things, and everything is always the same.
We're going to go through some, but I have so many questions. I mean, first of all, do you know how hard that is without looking stupid? You know what I mean? Or maybe that's the goal, to look stupid.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
We went down to the state of Indiana, and we're like, yeah, we got this great idea, this sports network. We think it's going to stand out. It's got something. And they're like, yeah, we want you. And they encouraged it. Mm-hmm. But you need to present it like A, and then B, and then C, yep, and then D in your average pitch deck. They basically they took out all the originality and all of the spark that I thought we had. I mean, certainly we got funded, but I'm like, man, that's just awful. It's putting my feet to sleep.
Yeah.
And even the guys here, well, they want it this way, they want it that way. Well, let's just mix it up. No. We have to stay in a program. Probably that's what people are thinking in your DMC, because you're getting them from all over. That one,
right.
One time you had the people from, I think it was Malaysia or wherever it was. It was, and they presented. I'm like, wow, they're really good, and they really thought this through.
Yeah.
But it was still a little bit of cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you know when you can take the risk?
I think the whole thing shouldn't be the risk. I think you take the risk on one area, right? So figure out. So again, maybe it is something that maybe it's an audience that you've never targeted, right? I've seen stuff like that where you'll pick like a very niche target and go after that. Or maybe you're doing a complete rebrand, and that's a risky thing to do. It's something, you've got kind of the awareness of the old brand versus the new. But again, if everything is the same, nothing stands out, right? So if you're trying to generate awareness for who you are and there's already a leader out there in the space, you're just going to mix in with them. So, I'm happy to talk about some of the.
Let's talk about some of them. What about Brianna? Tell us about her.
So there is this real estate agent that is out there. I've actually reached out to her to try and get her on a podcast. She's not doing any right now, but her handle is Tampa Bree, and she's got almost 500,000 people following her. Right, so she's down in Tampa. Now think about this: real estate agents, they all kind of do the exact same thing, right? So they put a nice little picture of themselves on a sign in the front yard, and they have the printouts and all this stuff, and they
might have a billboard.
They might have a bill. Like there's nothing really drastic that they're doing. Nobody's really shaking this up, but she has completely done something different. I believe her history is she's got kind of like a comedy background, but she's bringing the comedy into these Instagram and TikTok videos where she is walking you through these houses, but she's roasting the houses as well. So like she'll be calling out different features of the home and all of this stuff, but she does this full video tutorial of the house, but you would think it would come across as negative, right? So it's all of this, the last one she just did, they had a tennis court in the backyard, and she's like, oh, mommy got me a tennis court so I can be good at tennis, and she's just like making fun of all of these different things, but it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Every single one of them are so funny, and you would think that people wouldn't want that, as they're going through and trying to sell their house, but it's the opposite has actually happened, where people are calling her and say, will you roast my house next? So what you think wouldn't be working is actually she's getting more requests now to do this for different people in that area. And I'm telling you, go check it out, because it is, and she gets a little raunchy with some of the stuff. But like I would say to play one, but I don't think it would go well on air with some of the stuff that she
we
does.
record these live on AM radio, so sometimes we have to dial back some of the creativity.
Yeah, but it's just Tampa_BRE Bree, and check her out. I mean,
your reverence is okay in selling a house.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. I'm not really sure what this means, but you got the hammer.
Yeah.
Tell me about the hammer. I love that. I mean, I already like it, but go ahead.
Well, a lawyer, right? For some reason, a sledgehammer is synonymous with a lawyer in billboards everywhere you go, right? So I travel, whether it's here in Indiana, or I was just in Georgia, you go to Florida, like everywhere you go, it's the same visual over and over. It's some lawyer holding a sledgehammer and saying, drop the hammer, we'll get you the most money, that kind of thing. And it's funny because there's no difference. Like I can literally take that same marketing and drop it into Des Moines, Iowa, and it's going to be the exact same message. So if you're in Des Moines, and I know there's a few of you out there that are listening there, look around. Are you seeing the hammer? Are you seeing the sledgehammer? Are you a lawyer that's using that? Like, just realize it's all the same message. It doesn't matter where you're at. So it's kind of this, I'm not saying it's bad, but what I'm saying is it's not separating you from the pack. And, around here, maybe specialize in a certain area. And we've got one around here. It's, the Law Tigers, and they focus on motorcycles. And the reason that they focus on motorcycle insurance is because they are motorcycle riders, and it's this whole perception, positioning kind of thing. And it's great, right? Like they've separated. I don't see anybody else doing that, where they're trying to separate and focus on one specific area. of law, and that's what they've done. There's another one that's going on right now in Chicago where I think I forget the name of it, but they're pushing accidents with trucks, semis, right? And you hear them all over the radio. It doesn't matter what radio station you're on right now. You hear them and it sounds like an interview, but they're talking about the things that you need to do if you were hit by a truck. You need to call us immediately. We'll send out a response team. We'll check all. And it's educational because it's things you wouldn't normally think about, right? So we've got the hammer, we've got the sledgehammer, and then we've got somebody that's being very educational, or they are focusing in on a specific type of insurance because they are also motorcycle riders. So we understand what you're going through and what the needs that you have, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, instead of cloning things and doing what everybody else is doing, find the niche, find the area that you can be in and educate or relate or something along those lines. But, lawyers is definitely an interesting one to watch.
Our podcast network manager is Adriana Alvarez, and she wants us to keep to 18 minutes. So here we go. I want to pick one out. I know you got a lot of examples here, but you mentioned one that is local to us here in Northwest Indiana. I already recognize it.
Yep.
And it's like, hey, bank local? And you could do that anywhere. Go to Topeka, bank local, right up there, all right? But there is a bank, Centier Bank, that came up with a very specific twist on this. Mm-hmm. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so, like everywhere, we had a huge consolidation of banks, and local banks were being purchased by all of the larger, bigger banks, right? So Centier is a local bank here in Indiana, and basically they came up with a campaign that they slapped a not for sale sign on everything. We're going to maintain being your local bank. They didn't say local, but they basically just put, we are not for sale, and we're going to be here for you. Doesn't matter how many of these banks come in, we're not selling. And that was the best twist I've ever seen on the Shop Local. I was like, when I saw it, I'm like, all right, I'm giving it to you. Like, great job with that. And, it's one of those things, it doesn't matter kind of where you are in the world, you're still seeing the consolidation of banks. So you can take those ideas and flip them in a creative way. And they did it in a perfect way. I still see, I can shut my eyes and still see the not for sale signs that were on all the billboards and all the ads that I was seeing online and all that kind of stuff. But
it's pretty prevalent here. I think they've been around for 130 years, and they have been able to grow by separating themselves as not just the local banker, but as almost like aggressively not growing to too big of a status. Let's talk about the hero sidekick problem. What is that exactly?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a while back in regard to storytelling and, what you are. We've got our hero, which is our customer, and then a hero always has a sidekick. But the hero always has a problem, right? So we're talking about this and we're looking at it from, a real estate agent or a lawyer or a bank or whomever, right? People have problems that you have to solve. And easy marketing kind of takes a simple way of positioning. And when we're talking about a hero and a sidekick, we are the sidekick. Our business is the sidekick. We are offering a solution to the hero's problem. So in any story that you have, somebody, the main character of the story has a problem that they have to solve. We agitate it a little bit. You really understand what their problem is. And then the sidekick comes in and provides some piece of advice, something that helps them solve their problem. It's the same idea here, right? So we have our hero, which is our customer. They have a problem, and then we're coming back out with, we're a local bank. Okay, does that solve their problem? Not really. My problem is the fact that you're a local bank. Do I have to worry about you being purchased? Centier came up with, we're not for sale. Okay. A lawyer, we've got a sledgehammer, we're going to hammer down and get you the most money. Okay, but I get that, but how does that separate? Why are you better, right? So if I have a motorcycle accident or I'm hit by a semi out here on the Borman, like, if somebody's telling me we specialize in semi-truck accidents, you need to call it. All right, now that's in my mind when I get smashed here on the Borman, right? Or from a real estate perspective, I've been dealing with a few different real estate agents lately, and the first one, yeah, great. We had a quick conversation. We actually put an offer on a house a week ago, and I had to follow up to say, like, what's going on?
You mean in Bloomington?
In West Lafayette.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is a major faux pas.
Yeah.
We are on the campus of Purdue, and I just mentioned Indiana University, and we may have to just ixnay this entire podcast because of that. But you bought a house, and what happened?
Well, no, we put an offer in a house, and I didn't hear anything back, right? So I thought it was weird. I'm like, you've got to get back to me, right? So finally I sent a text. He's like, I'll call you right now. So he called me up, whatever. Said there was another offer. I said, okay, well, let me know what happens. Maybe we'll put a higher bid in. So told me, this other offer, they have to respond by 4:00 the next day. And I said, okay. So I'm at home, and it's noon, and it's 1:00, and it's 2:00, and I'm sitting there going, is he going to call me? Is he going to ask me if I'm going to put another offer in? And I went, no, I'm going to wait, right? No phone call ever came. I've never heard back from this real estate agent. I don't know what happened. So my contract with him ended like a day later. So I signed with another, because you have to literally sign a document saying that they're representing. So I went with another real estate agent because I'm like, well, if you're not going to call me back, obviously you don't have my best interest in mind. So we went with another one, and that one's been great, right? Like really providing real value. He's trying to dial in on what we're looking for. But that's what I mean. Like, you've got to separate yourself. There's plenty of people out there that are going to offer what you offer, but what is it that you're doing that's different, or what is the positioning that you're doing that's different? And again, we've talked about a bunch of different things today.
This is episode 90. My fault. Episode 90. Local marketing has a cloning problem. He's Matt Hansen. He is a digital marketing professor at Purdue Northwest. I'm Jim Deedlow, the owner of a sports network and some radio stations, and you are someone who cares about local marketing. And until next time, we will see you later.